Showing of the Midnight Broadcast Network on YouTube. My name is Slade84, and today we have the Throwback RINS Throwback Clash at Darlington Raceway, the Xfinity Series of the Midnight Broadcasting Network. I am alongside of NRG today in the booth. J Hyper will not be able to be here tonight, but he'll be here. NRG has called a few Cup races this season. I believe it's your first Xfinity race or National Series race. So NRG, what do you expect tonight?
Well, seeing the qualifying results and the pole sitter, we'll be talking to him here in just a second. It's Darlington, it's tight. You'll definitely probably see some contact. It's not a long race compared to the Cup race here last week, but it should be exciting. The roster's full of a bunch of talent, so it should be fun.
Yeah, as you heard him say, it's a tight racetrack. Darlington, watched our Cup Series race. We had 2 cautions for the entirety of the race until about 30 to go, and it was not good. just how the track is. For myself, I think I was on the outside of J Hyper at one point in the time in the race, and had to go about 130 coming off turn 2, just because if I went any faster, I was going to hit a bump and wreck. So, wasn't a good scenario, but that's what happens when it's a bit competitive, guys, and a 20-car field didn't help being at Darlington. 20 cars with about 18 of them, or 16 of them, about the same speed. Chance to win. Tonight we only have 10 in tonight's Ronin Imports National Series race, so it should be a lot smoother of a race. But we're going to go over our starting order before we hear from our pole setter, and you'll hear from him first. We have Fluffy in the 16 on pole once again, and starting outside of him in row 1 is Diesel Rothgib in the 22. Row 3 brings the 20 of Voltage in the 21 of Deadpool, who is below that cut line. And while he's a lot of points out and almost out of contention, if he's able to put on some dominant weeks here tonight at Darlington and next week, he should be able to try and make up some ground on the 8th place spot of number 6 of Marcus. Row 3 brings the 12 of Smoke Z-Mog, rocking a purple and yellow scheme tonight. And outside of him is the number 7 of Jerem Keffer. We got a group of Jerem guys here. And row 4, it brings the number 1 of I'm Goofy, the number 9 of From the Back. Row 5 brings the number 90 of Rough Raven and the 07 of Brennan. Those two guys, Brennan is making his second start tonight, and Raven is making his third start tonight. And this will be the final start for both these guys this season. It appears last part-time start, unless they decide to run extra races for the remainder of the season. It's a 10-car roster. I think they're about to go racing, so we might not hear from Fluffy. Actually, let's see if we can get him.
Fluffy is in here.
Oh, he's in here?
I'm in here.
Oh, well, look at that surprise. Well, hey, Fluffy. So on pole once again, looks like you got a fast number 16 Roush Racing Ford Mustang. Once again, always a contender for the win. How do you think your race is going to go today, man?
Pretty good, man. Feel confident about the car. Car's strong. If we could just have that consistency tonight, we should get it done tonight. Get us that momentum for New Hampshire tomorrow night. So, yeah, man, strong car, consistency, that's going to be the key factors in this race tonight for us, and hopefully we get the win here tonight in Darlington.
Yeah, the Ronin Imports National Series Throwback Clash at Darlington Raceway should be a great race. You had the pole by... You had a 7:93 pole time, 28.793. Second place at a 28.960, and third place at a 29.093. So very spread out from the top 2, and then second, third. You think this race will go about the same as the Cup race, depending on, for sake of just how close and competitive the cars will be, or do you think it'll be more spread out race?
I'm not sure. Honestly, I can't tell you. But basically, we'll just have to see tonight. It's really hard to say if it's going to be close race and if it's going to be spread out. But it should kind of feel like the Cup race from last week. So, yeah, I mean, you just never know. You never know if the field's going to be spread out or not. So we'll just, see and, try to get this win tonight and, go after it.
Yeah, RG, do you have any questions for our pole setter and points leader?
No, just good luck, man. 10-car field should be, like Slade mentioned, should be pretty smooth compared to that 20-car field last week. So just go get them, man.
Thank you, guys.
All right, that was Fluffy, driver number 16 in the Road Reports National Series. Thank you for your time and congrats on your pole. Good luck on today's race. Invites should be going out here soon. And first off, we want to thank our sponsors and affiliates. First, our sponsors of Ronin Imports for sponsoring our National Series / Xfinity Series, and for sponsoring a few selected races in our Cup Series. Make sure to check them out on Twitter at Ronin Imports. Also, Speedway Collective for sponsoring our Default Series and a few select races as well. We're looking to get them into another series next season as well. Go check them out on Twitter at SC Fantasy Racing. And we are proud to have Pocono Raceway as an affiliate for our Cup Series, and thank them for allowing us to have their name on our Cup Series. Of course, their Twitter at Pocono Raceway, and sometimes I read them in the Cup Series YouTube chat, so you might be able to catch them in those sometimes. 8:20 should be the start of the green flag of the race at NRG. We have a recurring segment in the broadcast where we pick who you think is going to win, who you think is going to be a sleeper tonight, someone who might be starting mid-pack near the rear, who you think could sneak in for a top 5 or potentially the win.
Well, just looking at the qualifying times, it's hard to bet against Fluffy in any race that he's in. I would say, we've seen him get screwed out of a couple wins just, with strategy and stuff like that. I don't know if that'll be a factor tonight with such short stages, but we'll see what happens in the third stage. I would think that, he would be the pick of the night. And for a sleeper, that's hard to pick as well, just because a lot of these guys, I don't know what they're running exactly, but based off qualifying times, again, I would say Deadpool would be my sleeper pick for tonight.
Deadpool starting P4, looking to something to prove. He started very well in races past. Last week at Pocono, I believe he was running 6th position after qualifying 2nd and lagged out. We're sorry for the blue screen, and we are getting invites to the broadcast. Or to the race, excuse me. I will send you one, my good friend.
Alrighty.
And you people in the chat would like to, who you think who's going to win tonight's race, please comment in the YouTube chat, and we'll read it out during the pace lap. My picks, like I said, you can't go against Fluffy by any means. I picked him last week, and I think Voltage came away with the win. I'm going to go with Diesel Rothgeb. He seems his Cup Series, he had a very consistent car there. Fluffy did too, not going to discredit that. So did Voltage. I'm going to go Diesel Rothgeb with the race win. In my sleeper, I'm going to go with from the back, starting P8. He's had a good, strong start of starting very well in races. He's slipping that today. He's going to start about 8th, second to last row, and he's going to have a very good race tonight, I think.
Once we go green, there will be 21 laps in the first stage. I'm not sure what we're looking at for the fuel window. I'm not sure how many laps you can get on a tank on 2 times wear here. So when I find out, I'll let you know.
Gonna get some paint schemes here tonight. 16 Fluffy rocking the Kobe Bryant tribute, number 16. Diesel Rothgeb in the 22 with the discount tire tonight. Let's go to 5th, Smoke Z-Mog, also with the Kobe Bryant tribute, as well as 9th place starter, Rough Raven, with a Kobe Bryant tribute in the field. The 1 and the 9 are decked out tonight in the black and white and the blue cars. And we come off turn 4 into the restart zone. We are underway here at Darlington for the Throwback Clash.
Fluffy with a good start out front immediately.
Yeah, Fluffy gets a nice 3-car length gap. As you see, the 22 in the outside wall is very hard to race side by side here, and the 22 will go from 2nd all the way back to 8th and potentially 9th. Diesel Rothgeb a rough start to the tonight's showing.
Ooh, I tell you what, Keffer, he come out hot off turn 2, and he saved it. They saved it. They're going to get spread out here. I think we'll see. Once they're already in a line. Once they get spread out, I don't think we're going to see any cautions. But when it does come time for green flag pit stops, this, in my opinion, is the hardest pit road to get on.
I can agree with that. It's very hard. You have to go from almost 180 miles an hour to 45 very fast at this track. And already, you can tell how important starting on the inside is, because the guys who start first, third, fifth are all 1, 2, 3 right now. So the outside starting spots decided to be looks like to be trouble. As Deadpool, who started fourth, is still fourth, but this Rothgeb from second to looks like he has crawled his way back to the 6th position.
Yeah, he had a rough start. They got 3 wide there into turns 1 and 2, and he just ended up in the wall and got bounced around and stayed there. But he did a good job keeping it up there and not bringing out a caution on the first lap.
Yeah, that's true. You cannot overlook that enough, especially also the guys who were able to keep it off him, keep that clean as well. It's very hard to be side by side here at Darlington Raceway, no matter what turn you're in. It is very difficult to try and keep off somebody. And look at this Fluffy, already a huge gap on the 20 of voltage. He is out of there. Yeah,
he sure is. And you know, I haven't really done too much Xfinity custom here, if any at all. I don't remember. A lot of times I'll open up a track and be like, oh, I have a setup here. I don't remember running it, but I know these cars are a little more stable than the Cup cars, and we've seen last Tuesday you guys were fighting mad loose off of 2. And you think you're going to see the same thing tonight in these cars?
I honestly saw. I couldn't tell if he just hit a bump in the track or what, but the 20 looked like he had what about an extra lane down coming off turn 2 last lap. So I believe people will be, they're trying to stretch for the balance of fast but also loose and stable. So these guys, I think, are going to see the same thing. A couple guys will start getting loose around the exit of turn 2 at the later ends of the run. But we'll see. As Fluffy, he seems to have that thing just dialed down, man. It is now, I'd say, about a second and a half gap over that 20.
Already putting on a clinic, which we expected. He does this about every race that he's in. But yeah, we'll see if the car handles as well on a long run as it does, obviously, on a short run. If we end up with a late race caution, it will be hard to beat that car right now.
Yeah, speaking of Fluffy's dominance, he has pretty much locked up the regular season championship. He has 503 points to Kepper's 464. But the amount of playoff points that he has over Keffer and really the rest of the field is just unremarkable. 33 playoff points, and that's not counting the regular season championship winnings of 10 playoff points, compared to Kepper's 3, who was second in the actual points, and Voltage's 15, who was third in the actual points. So if Fluffy can win the regular season championship, which if he does well at this race, he will have an incredible amount of playoff points, and pretty much say you could lock him in to round of 4 into the finale at Homestead.
I don't really remember exactly how the point format works for this series over here. Will that all reset come Homestead? Ooh, Fluffy did hit the wall right there.
Well, there. Yeah, the playoff points will take you all the way to Homestead, and at Homestead they'll reset. But just to show how impressive that is, playoff points, you get 1 playoff point for a pole, 1 playoff point for a stage win. There's 2 stages, of course, and you get 3 for the race win. So to have 33 is just an incredible amount, and a lot of those are from poles. I believe he has around 8 poles, 9 poles, if I were to guess.
That is impressive. Oh, there's Smoke Z-Mog just got really loose off 2, and I was kind of scrolling through there's a bunch of them back there getting loose off 2 already. I was kind of scrolling through the field. It looks like the 07 of Brennan. He seems to really be struggling right now.
Brennan, he is in the middle of the backstretch. They're going into turn 3, and race leader Fluffy is
getting ready to go into turn 3.
Yeah, so it's going to be real close there.
Yeah, he's struggling right now.
Let's see, Fluffy coming off turn 4, and there's Brennan in turn 1. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we're only about halfway through the stage 1. Brennan looks like stage 3 could be trouble for him. But right now, it looks like everyone is trouble for Fluffy, as you have Voltage in second and Keffer in third, with Smoke Zemo right there in fourth and fifth. He's clawed his way back up there. That's Diesel Rothgeb in the fifth position as one car loose down on the apron. Once again, that's Smoke Zemo, that number 12 car, just not handling how he wants it to be.
Now, as Fluffy, our leader, crosses the line, we have 9 laps to go in stage 1. I'm still not sure if they have to pit in these stages or not. On 2 times where, I wish I knew that information.
I don't believe you have to.
I know the second stage is only 19 laps, so if they don't have to pit here, they certainly don't have to pit in the second stage.
I want to give a shout out to Jason Keffer, the number 7 of JRM Keffer, for providing us with the onboard here tonight. For tonight's Throwback Clash at Darlington Raceway, go check him out on YouTube at Jason Keffer. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, NRG, he has his daughter's basketball link there for if you want to donate to them. The link is in his YouTube chat. You can go donate there to raise money for his basketball team, facilities, practice time, anything that a standard sports team would need. Please donate to him. We are having, I believe he's having a mini series for that every Thursday, every Thursday for about 3 weeks. So while that lasts, go check that out.
There's only, if I remember right, it might have gotten extended, I don't remember, but I think there's only a few days left to donate, but if you can, anything does help, and they have already done a heck of a job raising money, and the support through the NASCAR Heat community has been really good for that cause and other causes around the community, which is nice to see. You know, you got people that can be heated at each other during a race, but at the end of the day, you know, we're all human. Life happens, and it's nice to see people come together and help people out.
We'll do one thing we did not do, of course, the Darlington Throwback Clash. You got to go with some throwback paint schemes. If I'm not mistaken, that number 7 that Jeremy Keffer is rocking, if I'm not mistaken, that was Justin Algar's throwback car at Darlington. If I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
That might be. We go back to what we know is a throwback car. Oh, the 9, a little bit loose off the corner. He's fine, though. We do know the 1 car right there. That is a throwback scheme. That is rocked. Oh, Smoke Zemo down pit road with 5 laps to go in this stage. So, obviously, the number 12 car is not handling too well.
There's the 20 backwards on the backstretch.
Oh, he is. And the 1's able to dodge him. Well, that car stepped away from him a little loose.
Yeah, there's not too many cars like near each other right now. I think the only ones is the 9 and the 21. So I'm guessing he probably, like I mentioned, got loose off 2, overcorrected, and that's just part of Darlington on this game.
The 7 gets loose off of turn 2, and the 22 Diesel Rothgeb passes him. That is a battle for the second position. And they're coming now to 3 to go in the stage. And with that, I believe the number 9 from the back has moved into the 4th position for the stage.
Yeah, I was in a party chat with him right before we started the broadcast. He was doing some testing, and he said the front end of his car felt lazy. He just was. The car went there. Maybe front end being lazy for him was a good thing. Maybe he has a good handling long run car, which talking to Will or from the back on a daily basis, he is good at making these long run setups. So maybe he'll have something in that 3rd stage when we have to see pit stops.
He's right now being pressured with 2 to go in the stage by the number 21 of Deadpool. These guys are 4th and 5th. Right now, both these guys would get stage points, but Deadpool. Will is already locked into the playoffs. He's just looking to get some more playoff points, but Deadpool needs points. He's technically the only driver in this race that needs points. Him, Keffer, Voltage, and that's if Fluffy has a bad race for the other 2, but looks like they will not, or Fluffy will not have a bad race, and so Deadpool making a move. Now with 1 to go into stage, we got a great battle for the 4th position.
Well, nobody's been able to handle Fluffy. He put the 07 a lap down. I believe he will be the only car a lap down at the end of the stage.
Oh, Deadpool around on the apron. The 9 gets loose, and that lets Rough Raven get around the 21. And the one of Goofy stays behind the 9, but as you said, Energy, Fluffy crossed start finish line a while ago. Fluffy, stage 1 winner. Nice job for him. There's another 2 playoff points, 1 for the pole, 1 for stage 1 for Fluffy. Puts him at 35. And he just keeps on making that gap larger. But, excuse me, the stage 1 results. We have Fluffy P1, Diesel Rothke P2, Keffer P3. As we get the final 2 guys, I believe it was from the back, Will P4 and Goofy P5. So the JRM cars, you have 2 Fords, 1, 2, and the JRM crew 3, 4, 5. With Deadpool, as we said, he needs points whenever he can get them, and he was not able to get them there, which is unfortunate.
I kind of forgot Smoke Zeemog went down pit road. I don't know if that was planned or not, but Brennan will be the lucky dog here, and yeah, Smoke Zeemog, he's going to be a lap down here going into stage 2, and I tell you who had a rough stage 1 at running 4th in the last lap. Deadpool needing all the points he can get comes away with 7, so that definitely hurts. These guys definitely have cars that do not handle well on the long run. It seems like most of them are fighting on the long run right now.
Back underway, stage 2, Fluffy and Diesel Rothgeb on the front row, and they're for the majority of the part. They're going to go single file, except for the one in the back. He gets in the fence, and that gets the 12 of Smoke Zeemog. They do not wreck, just a little bit of contact. They save it. Goofy goes back to the 9th position. Now, he is 10th on track, but that is the 9th position. Oh, the 1 gets the wall, and he has some contact from behind from the 90 of Rough Raven. They'll save it, though, and they'll keep it green.
Oh, who's that here in 2nd place? Is that, that's Diesel.
That is Diesel.
Looks like he's hanging with them right now. We'll see how long that lasts. It would be nice to see a battle for the lead on something other than a restart, but that's fine. We know Fluffy has a good car, obviously. I think I only seen him get into the wall one time, which is bound to happen here, but it didn't look like he was fighting the car not one bit during that entire stage.
No, there's only a select few, maybe just Fluffy, that were not fighting their car at all or not getting loose off the corner. But the 16 seem to be just pulling away in that NASCAR Heat Pro League number 16 with the Kobe Bryant tribute, as we have 3 cars in the field who are doing so.
That was at 4th on back. Uh-oh, somebody's in the wall back there. Who is that?
That was Rough Raven in the 90. He's around in turn 4, single car spin. Rough Raven making his 3rd start tonight. Just trying to get some experience, getting into the next season, season 3 of the series.
Is he going to be full-time Xfinity next season?
Looking to be, yes. Same as him and Brendan. Looking to be full-time next season.
Well, good luck to them guys rest of the season and going into season 2.
I see we have almost a 3-car breakaway. There's still a lot of spread between those 3, but 3 guys have separated themselves from the rest of the field. That's 16 of Fluffy, 22 Diesel Rothgeb, 7 of Keffer. And you go back to this 3, maybe 4, 5 car pack, if you want to call it that, of Voltage, who's P4, Deadpool back to P5, and from the back P6 with that's P7 Brennan in the 07, as you see there, because that car in the who's 4th in line, that is Smoke Zeemog, who is 10th, 1 lap down. As he gets the wall and goes to the inside, Smoke Zeemog looks like he's going to let Brennan go. Oh, he decides not to. Brennan falls in line behind him.
Goofy, he's kind of just riding back here. He was another guy I was in the party chat with. He didn't know if he had something good or not. Nobody had really communicated with what was a good time before the race. So I'm sure he's just kind of biding his time, and he'll just wait for someone to make a mistake and try to get some positions that way.
Yeah, Goofy also started somewhat late in the season, but halfway. And it's proved to have some speed here in the series. So we're looking at him be full-time next season as well in the Road Reports National Series. We have a decent battle here from the back. And Smoke Zeemog, this is not a position, however, it is still on track position from the back right now in P6. As Deadpool got around him around 2 laps ago. But Deadpool needs to try and get ahead of Voltage, or really anybody. He needs every point he can get, as we've said.
I like that paint scheme he's running too, honestly. That's a pretty slick paint scheme on that 21 car. I have not seen that one. I'm not one of them guys that go through all of them, but that's the first time I've seen this one. I like it.
I believe, is that... No, that scheme, I think that scheme's been in here, but there was another 21 car added. The Joe Graff Jr. machine was added just a few weeks ago for the 21 team.
We got the 9 car battling back here. Position is Smoke Zemog, and from the back battling behind Voltage. I'm guessing that's for 6, 7? Not entirely sure. Scroll through the field here and try to figure out who's where. Now we're all spread out. And Fluffy, he's got an entire straightaway lead at this point, and that's not him. All these dang cars that are purple and gold trying to tell who's who.
He almost has straightaway lead, about 3/4 of a straightaway lead over the 22 Diesel.
I'm trying to figure out what position this is that Smoke Zemog and from the back are battling for right here. They're about the only battle on the track right now that I'm seeing.
I don't think he asked for position. That is still from the back is P6.
Oh, yeah. Smoke Zemog's a lap down. I forgot.
Yep, from the back P6. While he's position number 7 on track, he is 10th in the run, or he's 7th in the running order, but he's 10th position-wise. That's Smoke Zemog, still 1 lap down. Needs, who's that up there? Oh, Fluffy hits the wall of turn 2. Plus we got a bump in the track, but that is Rough Raven, who Fluffy has the potential lap, and not far in front of Raven is Brennan.
Yeah, we've seen him go around early in this stage, and when you have a car in the lead as fast as Fluffy, you're fighting for your life to just stay on the lead lap. Even though we only got, I think, 6 to go here in stage 2, hopefully he can maintain his position on track and not go a lap down.
Fluffy is now coming to 6 to go. When he crosses the start finish line, it will be 6 to go. The number 16 machine. So Rough Raven, hopefully he'll keep it for 6 laps. Not only for Raven, it's not that big of an issue because he'll easily get his lap back. But yeah. Smoke Zemog is the one that really needs that 90 car to keep his lap, and he wants to get back on that lead lap because he knows he has a good car. As you see, where is he? Running technically 7th on track, as we've said, but he's position 10. So he knows he wants to get some points.
You know, Fluffy being as respected as he is to the community, if it's only a lap or 2 left with this big laps left with this big of a lead, I think he'll let Raven maintain his lap at the end of the stage if it comes down to it. Now, if he catches him here in the next lap or 2, I wouldn't be too sure of that.
He'll probably pass him. We now have 5 laps to go in stage 2. Fluffy still having a commanding lead, looking to sweep the race, which he's done about, I think, twice this season. We have a caution.
Wow,
the 20 car is very slow on the racing surface.
Oh yeah, well, we've seen him go around in stage 1 late in the run. And that's going to leave us about 2 or 3 laps left here in the stage.
Who's that?
It's going to be a shootout. I think we're going to really see some battles now. Look for that 21 car to really try to make some moves to get any points that he possibly can here at the end of the stage. When we go back green, looks like I think everyone's going to pit here. And with that being said, it should be Fluffy and Diesel leading us off.
Oh, Keffer.
No, Keffer. What did he do? Take 2 tires?
Make sure here.
Wow, he did not get going.
Oh, he did not. He missed a shift. Keffer goes from 1st to almost 6th. Oh, he shifted into neutral instead of 2nd on the restart. So
Wow,
Keffer,
right.
obviously, he's obviously not happy about that. Potential to win the stage, goes back to 5th, now 4th. Diesel Rothgen with the lead, and
First
Fluffy wants
battle
it.
for the lead all day.
They're side by side here. Voltage is going to help. No, he's not. I thought he was going to help with 22. Oh. And we have another caution. Oh, that's the stage.
That was the end of the stage.
My bad. That's the stage. And Fluffy. It was a one-lap shootout, so you know Keffer is not happy. But with that, you have Fluffy with the stage win, Diesel second, Voltage third, Keffer fourth, and Deadpool that points he needs gets 5th, the 1 stage point. But man, you know Keffer has to be devastated. He only has
I was watching the stream, but I didn't see that he threw it in neutral. That's wild. And now sitting here looking at it, these guys could make it on fuel in the 3rd stage, but I honestly think that you're probably going to split this in half and take 4 fresh tires, because them right side tires at the end of these runs they're gone. So I think you'll see a lot of guys split the stage, and Diesel will come to the beginning of the stage in the lead.
I believe we saw with 21 lap stage technically with the stage, with the pace lap. Keffer, who is known for having very good tires at the end of runs, had 17% on his right front tire. So he probably could have went around lap 28, at most 26, around there.
Yeah, we're definitely, unless we get a bunch of cautions here, we're gonna see green flag pit stops.
We had 1 car in the wall of turn 2, Smoke Z-Mog. Falls back to 10th, works his way up to 9th. And we have 1 car in the wall in turn 4.
There's a bunch of guys in the wall here on these restarts. It looks like getting up to speed, as we know, a lot of times is hard. The car doesn't handle the way you expect it to until you get up to race pace. It is hard to keep it off the wall, especially here of all tracks on these restarts.
One thing you can't stress enough here at Darlington is there is track glitch, if you want to call it, but there is a certain line, I don't know if you know, coming off turn 2 on the high side. If you hit that bump, you're going to almost guaranteed spin out. There's even a bump on the low line of turn 2 you can hit at any given time and not spin your car out. So the turn 2 is deadly here at Darlington. So it might be a cause why some people are getting loose, hitting the wall. We have 2 cars around in the back. One of I'm Goofy, looks like he was the first car around. The 12 of Z-Mog's involved. And the 9 of from the back was nearly involved, had a piece of it. But no caution will come out for that, as we have a great battle for the lead here.
Yep, sure do. That's unfortunate for them guys, especially being the last stage. They're not going to get another break unless a caution does come out. They're going to be fighting the rest of this race. Fluffy takes the lead, and we've seen what he does when he gets out front. He just pulls away.
A little contact for second, the 20, the 22. Coming off turn 4, the white, black, and red cars of Voltage. Last week's winner, Voltage, got the win at Pocono, held off Fluffy. And there were 22, Diesel Rothgeb, whose last win was at Kentucky.
Ooh,
the 20's in the wall.
Yep.
Is he going to slow down?
We've seen him around twice. I can tell a lot of these guys probably were looking at the schedule and they're like, damn, I really have to go there this week.
Yeah.
Of all the tracks we have to go to, we have to go here. It is a driver's track. We know that there's only a few people who, we've ever raced with that can just say, I'm good at Darlington. It's not very many. The list is very small.
Fluffy, as he just got the lead about 2 laps ago, already out to a commanding about 1 second lead over Diesel Rothgeb. And there was a small 3-car line, you would say, between Voltage, Keffer, and Deadpool. 3rd, 4th, and 5th. I said Deadpool needs every point he can get. So a nice 5th place finish here, top 5, would be great for the 21 machine.
It sure would. And we got 21 laps to go. It'll be 20 next time Fluffy crosses the start-finish line. So, do you think these guys... there's no doubt they're going to pit for tires, but at what point do you do it? You run as long as you can, or do you try to just, split this in half? That way you at least know what your car is going to feel like at the end of the race.
See, if anyone has a chance for a win, unless the 16 speeds on pit road, you would like to do, which the time gap wouldn't even be there, 2 tires, but obviously, Darlington, you cannot do that. Your tires are shredded all the way around. So I would say go split it in half if you're somewhat in the middle, back of the pack, or even any of these guys second, third, fourth who have already lost a lot of ground with the 16. Just try and short pit as much as possible, split it in half, because I've learned in this game, if you stay a little bit longer, you're going to get a huge reward on the back end with having those fresh tires in the long run. So
I know we've talked a lot about Deadpool. The only reason being right now, well, he's had a good car, it seems like, but we also have seen that it's really the only person in the field right now that needs points to get into the playoffs, with only 1 week remaining after this week. And I think strategy for him is going to be key here. I don't know if he's got anyone that he's going to work with on the track. Not that this is a draft-dependent track or anything. Really, you're just waiting for people to make mistakes and then capitalizing there, because it is hard to pass. We'll see what he does. He's the one driving that car. He knows what his setup does on a long and a short run, I assume. So he's going to have to pick and choose what time he wants to pit.
we'll note here, Rough Raven the 90 has lost connection to the server in the race, so the number 90 car has a guaranteed 10th place finish tonight in his 3rd start here in the Road Imports National Series.
That's unfortunate. We see that a lot too. I know a lot of it has to do with where you live. Internet connections on this game are it's bad sometimes. We see usually at least 2 or 3 people, and with a 10-car field, maybe he'll be the only one tonight. But I know on closer to 20-car fields, a lot of times you see 2 to 3 people lagging out of races, and you hate it, especially for if he was say that happened to Deadpool right there, you might as well kiss your playoff shots goodbye right then and there. So it's unfortunate for whoever, and he hung around there for a while. We've seen him go around to stage 2, but he seemed to have a pretty clean race other than that one little mistake, which I didn't really see what caused him to go around, but it's unfortunate.
You said Deadpool, we're looking at his point standings here as we headed into tonight's race. So guaranteed the guy who is 8th in the point standings, that is Marcus. Marcus in the number 6, and I would make it tonight. Guaranteed 10 points for not being able to make it. So that puts him at 347 points. Marcus, after today's race. Deadpool, who had 275, if he wants to split the gap in half, so he's in, where is Deadpool right now? P5?
4th or 5th.
It appears.
I was sitting here scrolling through. You got Fluffy in the lead, and then you got
5th.
I think Bags or Voltage behind him, or is that Diesel behind him? That's Diesel behind him. Voltage is in 3rd. Keffer's in 4th.
So Deadpool 5th. If I'm correct.
Yep, and the 20, really loose off 2, is going to give up that position to Keffer. Is he coming down pit road?
He is pitting. The 20 of Voltage, first car to come down pit road. A major short pit by the 20. I believe that puts us around 20 to go.
He has struggled from the beginning of this race. I'm going to guess this is not one of his favorite tracks.
He had a good car in the Cup race. Kept trapped a lap down pretty early after a wreck, or after some strategy in stage 1, but had a pretty good car and was able to rebound for a 3rd or a 4th place finish. So just not having the best days here today at Darlington, but Deadpool, who was 5th before car started pitting, so we're going to count it as that. Gives him 32 points, and with his 5th place in stage 2, 33, he'll gain 23 points on the number 6 of Marcus, which will put him at still puts him at around a 40 or so point gap, a 38 point gap which the maximum to make up on someone in one of these races, if Marcus does not even make next week, is 40 points. So he's going to need, I believe, if he wants to have a shot with Marcus racing next week, he's going to need to win the race. But if Marcus doesn't race next week, he's going to need, honestly, I think it's second. He's a top 2 today for Deadpool if he wants to make the playoffs.
That's wild. And, you know, with Voltage coming down pit road and we're at about to be 8 to go next time by, I'm starting to think Fluffy's not going to pit. I'm not sure if anyone else is going to. Ooh, I started to lose sound there for a second. We might. Some of these guys might be able to make it the whole way. It'll be interesting to see. I haven't seen anyone else dip down pit road yet. Oh, Goofy is going to take it down pit road right here.
Yep, number 1 of I'm Goofy.
The only second taker so far. And getting this late into the run, even if you do have to come down pit road, I know we had mentioned this track eats up all tires. If you can pit with like less than 5 to go, you might be able to get away with just taking right sides and a splash of fuel. You probably don't even know. You won't even have to take fuel, just take right sides. But
Kemper starting to catch the 22 of Diesel as they battle for second. He actually saw about a second or so gap behind him. But you know, Keffer built his car for long runs. Not that great of a qualifier, but still built his car for long runs and is great at the very end of races. So Keffer looking to get the 22 car and see if he can make it to the end.
We'll see. I think Diesel is in conserve mode. I think knowing that we're this late in the run, knowing that Fluffy is probably still gapping these guys, you might as well try to stay out. Either that, or if any of these top, well, second to, I think honestly, if you see Diesel or Keffer come down pit road, Keffer's all over his bumper now. If either of these guys come to pit road, I think you'll see a lot of guys come down, except for Deadpool. If I'm Deadpool and seeing that people started pitting, I'm conserving my tires.
Keffer's tire wear, when he hit the start finish line, he just hit 20% on the right front. Yep, so he should be around 17 on the right front right now. So he should be able to make it. Keffer should be okay to make it on the rest of this race. It appears. But you got Keffer, who's back here. I mean, same as Diesel and the rest of the field, beyond seconds behind Fluffy. Do you think Fluffy has burnt out his tires running so fast?
Absolutely not. He knows better than that. When you have this big of a lead, he could save his tires. At this point, he could probably save his tires the rest of the race and still have, he's got a whole straightaway lead on these guys. Almost 3/4 straightaway. He could coast around this track the last few laps here and make it.
So Keffer now to second. He got around the 22 of Diesel.
We got 3 laps to go. It'll be 2 laps to go next time by.
So no, Keffer's going to be good. Fluffy, we have seen this before. I mean, there's been a few times this season, especially Martinsville, where Fluffy almost had, I think, everybody but the top 4 was a lap down in the Martinsville Cup race and burned out his, going so fast, he burned out his fuel. I just don't want that to happen again. We are now on 2 to go.
Yep.
It's 16 of Fluffy. Very conservative off of turn 2 and now down the backstretch.
I am actually quite shocked that most of these guys are going to make it without having to pit here. What do we only have, 1 caution all night?
Only 2 cautions tonight.
Diesel down pit road right now with 1 to go.
Yep, he had to pit. It looks like it would have blown a tire. That's 1 to go, brought to you by Ronin Imports. Fluffy, can he make it all the way as he's already in turn 3?
Sitting here. Keffer, he's in the single digits over here on his right sides right now, just getting her to the end, but Fluffy has a 5-second lead, as he just wins this race.
Yep, Fluffy wins the Run Imports National Series Throwback Clash at Darlington, putting on a clinic on the rest of the field.
Led all but maybe one lap, maybe.
That is true. Led everything, got the max stage points. Great job for him. Keffer brings his machine home second. A much-needed third-place finish for Deadpool, which means we will hear from him post-race. Smoke Z-Mug with a fourth, and top 5 it's looking for from the back, P5 for the number 9.
That was a good comeback from Will. He'd been, he didn't qualify great tonight, but he managed to save them tires when he knew he had to and get the top 5 out of it.
Brennan in his second start for the MBN Road Imports National Series, he brings his machine on P6. That is his best finish in his 2 starts. Diesel Rothgeb, who was running second with 2 to go, had to pit. He will finish. The number 22 will bring it home in the 7th position. Voltage, who had a strong contender, struggled some today. He will finish 8th, 1 lap down. I'm Goofy will finish 2 laps down in 9th. And Rough Raven, we had the disconnect P10, 21 laps down. But we will hear post-race interviews from Fluffy, Keffer, and Deadpool.
And most of these guys are probably like, thank God this is over.
That is true. Deadpool, like I said, he needed a top 3 finish. I believe now the position he's in, he's going to need Marcus to not show up next week, and he'll have a chance at the playoffs. Also, that he'll need to win everything next week at Homestead. Fluffy with a fast lap, 28.815. Which is just a bit slower than his qualifying time.
Barely slower. I mean, he was moving.
So we're here from Fluffy, Keffer, and Deadpool for post-race interviews.
I'll invite them in here. There's Fluffy. I got too many people on my friends list. I need to get rid of some of these people. I'll just get Fluffy first so we can at least get that started here, and then I'll look for the other ones.
And we have Fluffy waiting for everybody else to get in here. Gentlemen, see if we get everybody in here. Keffer, and now just waiting on Deadpool. If you enjoy momentarily, and there's Deadpool. So, y'all three, make sure priority audio is set to always allow. We will be getting top 3 finishers here, post-race interviews. We're going to start with Fluffy. Fluffy, dominating performance once, I believe that's the 3rd time this season, maybe 4th, where you have got the pole, both stage wins, and the race win, maxing out your playoff points, and putting your playoff points from 33 to 39, which is just a tremendous amount. Tell us about your race, Ben, even though we saw you just by yourself for the most part. Tell us about your race.
It was pretty good, man. Car was good. The only issue I had with it was the tire wear. The tire wear shocked me a lot. It didn't shock me until halfway through the run. I don't really know, because going into it, I was just like, well, the tire wear ain't gonna be that bad, And that was one key thing that I really had to work on during the race was tire wear and kind of manage it. But other than that, the car felt great. We were loose a lot in 1 and 2, stage 1 and 2 there. So we kind of made an adjustment, kind of made the wedge adjustment there, and a couple of tire pressure adjustments as well, and made the car to where it's, just better on the long run, better in the race in general, all the way around. So, yeah, man. This win is definitely a big momentum getter for tomorrow night, and yeah.
tomorrow night we mentioned Pelican Raceway Cup Series is at New Hampshire for race 14 of the season, same as tonight. But I believe it was stage 2, the one-lap shootout. Great battle there, past Diesel, come off turn 4. Was there a spot? Did everyone take 4 tires, or was it just a NASCAR heat pit thing?
Well,
I guess it'd be best to ask Keffer.
Yeah, Keffer don't know how to shift gears, and he screwed up there.
No, he punched. He went to go, and he hit his clutch pedal and did not engage. So it wouldn't go. So it stopped, and it wasn't nothing he did. It was just one of those deals.
Like Slade just mentioned, that was pretty much the only battle for the lead we seen was right there at the end of stage 2, and that was a dominating performance. I'm not sure if you're going to pass post-race inspection, but we assume you probably won't be disqualified for it. But no, man, that was dominating. Out of curiosity, you don't have to share this information with me, but what were your right side's tire at when your tires at when you crossed the start-finish line?
The right rear is at 1%.
Holy crap. We've seen a lot of guys go down pit road. Well, not a lot. We've seen a couple of them go down.
Yeah.
We were wondering if everyone, I thought everyone was going to at least come down and get right sides at one point or another there in the last stage. But
well,
good job.
I kind of figured, with the tires there, knowing that in stage 1 and stage 2, I had to come up with a strategy to kind of just break away from the field and then just kind of baby it. And I babied it for like 16 laps all the way to the end, man. And it was just, it was really hard because sometimes, man, like when you go into 1 and 2 and, cars getting freer, as the run goes on because the tires are getting worn. And just got so free at the end of that run that, I just had to kind of maneuver my way through and got it done, man. But got it done, literally I was at 1% coming to the line there on the right rear. So thankfully we made it back to the line with no issues, and can't wait for tomorrow night.
Do you have any more questions for our race winner, Energy?
Nah, man. Just good luck tomorrow night, man. We'll see you then.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. That was Fluffy, driver number 16 in the Ronin Imports National Series. And driver number 17, Pelican Raceway Cup Series. Thank you for your time, Fluffy. Congrats on the win. Now we move to the P2 finisher in the... Is that a throwback cover? I didn't know if that number 7 was a throw... No, his throwback was that one. Okay, we got that wrong then. We messed it up on the broadcast. We said that your scheme tonight was a throwback. But Keffer, P2 tonight. We mentioned around, I believe it was around 10 to go, that you usually are one of the better ones known as long runs. And that you probably would be one of the ones with no problems on tires. Talk us through your race, man.
Yeah, it was pretty much typical Darlington for everyone. The turn 2 was brutal. Just never knew when it was going to snap on you or put you in the wall or whatnot. So you just had to fight through it. But I noticed that my tire wear was a little rough there at the end of the first stage and second stage, so I made some adjustments on pit road. It worked out that we had enough tire there at the end to finish at probably, I was at like 7%. I think I probably could have gone another lap. The last few laps I ran a little bit harder trying to catch Fluffy, knowing that he was trying to take care of that tire. Figure if we had one more lap, I may have got him. He might have blown a tire, but who knows. But I'll take the second place. Pretty much been top 5 all season. So, keep getting the points and keep going.
Yeah, I believe with that finish, that will keep you second in the point settings, and that might even solidify your second place position because the 20 of Voltage finished, I believe he was 8th today, after having to pit around lap 8, or with 8 to go in tonight's race. So your P2 points position going into the playoffs looks like it will stay, which is very good, only behind Fluffy. But we said it earlier in the broadcast, Keffer, about the link you had on your stream. Would you like to give more info to the people watching on what that is and what that is about, along with the miniseries?
Oh, yeah. So my daughter plays AAU travel basketball here in Charlotte. and they're getting ready to start they pretty much play all year round, but they're getting ready to start their spring-summer season, which is kind of the main season that they have for travel. They'll play here in the Charlotte area most of the season, and at the end of the year they go to Myrtle Beach and play. But we're doing a fundraiser right now for it's essentially a donations link. You don't have to buy candy or any of that stuff. You essentially just donate whatever you feel like donating, right? So $1, $5, $10, whatever. And then on top of that, we decided to do like a little like super mini series. That's anybody can join on PS4 as long as they make a $5 or more donation. We already had 2 races down. There's 3 more to go. There'll be 2 this Thursday, and then next Thursday there'll be one 100% race. But if you're interested in racing that, just be sure to get a hold of us on PlayStation Network or Twitter or here. Let us know, and then you can make a donation at that link. And even if you don't want to race, you can make a donation. Like I said, anything helps, even $1. So we're doing pretty well. I think we actually raised about $240 last week for the races, so that was pretty cool to see. So thanks to everybody that's donated as well.
I don't think I have the link. Can you put the link in the chat so people can donate if they're willing to?
I tried to put it in the chat earlier when the race started, but it won't let me because I think to put links in the chat, you probably have to have some sort of admin rights. But here,
okay. Yeah.
I'll post it right there in the admin chat, and then if you want to post it,
I can put it.
I did post it on my YouTube page.
Yeah, we pointed that out. And RG, do you have any questions for our second place finisher?
No, man, just good second. I thought it was going to be third until Diesel went down pit road with 1 to go, but good job sticking it out. And if it would have been another lap or 2 more, it would have been interesting to see how it all went. But, hey, good job on the second place, man.
1 lap, I think we could win it. 2 laps, Deadpool probably wins it.
Well, we'll find out here in just a second once we get with our third place finisher. But, hey, good run, man.
Thanks.
Yep. You're on Kepper. That was Jason Kepper, driver of the number 7 in the Road Imports National Series season. And I believe I put the link in the chat to donate, if that was the right thing. Pretty sure that was right. No, I guess it just put that. Anyway, Deadpool, P3 finish. Where is who drives that? There it is.
Spicy hot ice cream Chevy Camaro.
I liked that paint scheme, by the way.
Thank you, brother.
So, Deadpool, P3 finish. We were talking that you were the only driver in the race tonight that was in need for regular points. Everybody else was either locked into the playoffs, just out of contention for the playoffs already. You're the only one who had some contention in there. With your third place finish and your fifth place stage finish in stage 2, you are now in a position to where if you're able to go dominate Homestead, you have a chance to make the playoffs. Tell us about your race, man.
All right. Well, the race car was actually, at the beginning of the race, it was a little bit on the tight side. Everybody was complaining about, I'm loose. Well, I was the opposite. When I set the car up, I was like, okay, it's Darlington, long run, it's going to get loose. So I set it up to be a little tighter. So I was like, all right, just stick with it, just run your race. The car handled great. I mean, overall, it was just the best car I've had all season. There was a few races I've had that, I let get away from me, got caught up in a couple things, ended my race. But this was my home track. I loved Darlington, my home track. I loved it. The car was wonderful. Handled good. Man, I had a blast.
We've confirmed the points, and Deadpool, in order to make the playoffs, you will need Marcus in the number 6. He will have to not race, which will give him 10 points, non-start points. And you will have to win the race and get, I believe that would be 7 stage points at max, or at minimum. That will tie you with him, and if you would win, that would give you more playoff points. So that's what you need to do next week. So still in playoff contention, the number 21 of Deadpool, but NRG, do you have any questions for our third place finisher?
Yeah, I just want to know how many more laps could you have went there at the end before you start having tire issues?
When I crossed the finish line, my left front was at 16%, and my right rear was at 15%. I think I could have went another 3 laps.
Wow. Well, that tells you what a couple laps could have done for you tonight, and was not just you, a bunch of people. I think a couple more laps, everyone was going to have to pit at least once, but you stuck in there. You had good tire wear, man. We talked about, other than Fluffy dominating pretty much the whole race, we had talked about you quite a bit throughout with, just knowing you had to get good points tonight. There was no ifs, ands, or buts, and you stuck it out. You got yourself a P3. I know it does seem like a long shot to get into the playoffs, but, I know you'll grind over the next week, and it's not over till it's over. So, hang in there and good luck.
I appreciate it, and I'll give it everything I got. That's all I can do. I'll be ready next week.
Yeah, that's Deadpool driver number 21, Chevy Camaro in the Running Reports National Series. Still with a shot for the playoffs, even though it might be a long shot, but as Energy said, it's not over until it's over. And with me and NRG, for the first time we have this combo in the booth. I thought it was a very clean race, only one true caution. That other caution was the end stage 2. But one true caution tonight, very clean race. NRG, give us your overall opinion on tonight's race.
We both had mentioned at the beginning of the race, 10-car field, it should be pretty clean. We've seen cars get into each other on the restarts, to be expected. Like I had mentioned, the cars don't handle the way you think they're going to handle until you got up to race pace. But overall, clean race. No one really, there wasn't too much battling on the track after about 5 laps into a run. We've seen a little bit. We've seen, Will and Deadpool have that battle in stage 1. There was a couple battles in stage 2, and then obviously guys that had to pit in stage 3, they kind of put themselves out of contention for the win tonight. Second place winner, we should say.
Yeah.
But no, overall, good, clean race. Where'd you say these guys are at next week?
We're at Homestead, Miami for the regular season championship.
All right, that'll be exciting. We know everyone will be ready for that. A lot of racing surface there to work around, multiple grooves, another track where you do fight the car getting loose, but it should be exciting, and I'll definitely be, if not here with you, I will definitely be watching.
See, we're not at Homestead next week. Apologies. The regular season championship is... or the actual championship race, the final race of the season, is Homestead. Next week we are at ISM. ISM is the final race before it's the final race of the regular season. Excuse me.
That'll be fun just as much as Homestead would be. This obviously completely different track, unique, hard to get a car that can hit. Both corners plus the dog leg there on the front stretch. But that'll be entertaining to see, and I'm stoked to watch it.
Yep, so once again, congrats to Fluffy on his win. Keffer is P2 finish, and Deadpool's P3 finish will keep him in contention for the playoffs. And once again, it's been Slated G84 and NRG for the first time for the Running Reports National Series. We'll catch you guys next week at ISM Raceway next Monday. And tomorrow night, the Pocono Raceway Cup Series heads to New Hampshire for race 14 of the regular season. And the points battle there is heated. You have a lot of guys, actually 3 guys in this race tonight, are actually still on the point bubble for the Cup Series race. You have Diesel Rothke P8 in the standings, and you have Voltage P, I believe he's P13, and then you have Kever P14. So those guys still fighting out in the Cup Series playoffs, but once again, Slade G4 NRG. Thank you guys for everyone who tuned in for tonight's race. See you guys tomorrow and next Monday. Peace.